ahead and count us down.
5, 4, 3, 2, go.
What's up, world? Thank you for coming back and visiting Johnny Reviews for another episode. Today, I have another guest with me today. Some people may know him, some may not, but he's an all-around champion. He does dancing, he sings, UFC fighter. You know, I don't know, ETC. We'll leave it there because he is a mystery, ladies and gentlemen. On the other side of the mic, we got Duke. Duke.
I just want to make it clear, I do not fight for the UFC. I wish I did, but I do not.
We'll add that to his wish list here, ladies and gentlemen. He's a MMA fighter, though, and he has actually taught me a couple of things here and there. But, you know, he's a one-of-a-kind person, guys. He's actually put out a new video with another one of his friends, JoJo, on dancing, and that was a really good video, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate the love. Appreciate the love.
And he is my roommate, ladies and gentlemen. This is the one Duke right now that will hit stardom. And I'm glad I have him here with me on the cast talking about Godzilla, talking about the new movie that just came out. And, oh my gosh, were you excited when you saw this movie?
I mean, let me just give my initial thought on this. Going into it, I love Godzilla. I grew up in an Asian household. Godzilla is my life. I absolutely love it and all its lore behind it. So going into this movie, seeing that the three biggest of the monsters are going to be featured in this movie, we've got King Ghidorah, Mothra, and Rodan in there. I was really hyped for it.
Yeah.
And then once I saw more and more people seeing it and the reviews dropping of it, my excitement was still up there, but not fully there.
Yeah.
And then once I finally saw it,
Yeah.
we can get into this.
Yeah. So your initial thought, like, if you had to describe it in one word, like the one word that you can kind of tell other people to go see, what would you say?
All right. Instead of one, I can give you four.
You can give 4.
I can give you 4 words.
He's gonna give me 4.
I know. Big monster, shitty people.
Fuck. Okay.
That's the
probably
4 words
best
that I can
words.
describe this movie.
That's awesome.
Yes.
For me, it was thriller. That's
Thriller?
Thriller.
Yes.
The best way to describe it was just because you're right. Those 4 words describe the reason why I picked thriller as it, because you're going in there to go see big fucking monsters, go at it. You're not there to go see some emotional attachment with humans kind of trying to figure out the story, but I understand why it's in there.
Yeah.
So, and if we'll probably give the rating later on. I want to go ahead and get people to know what we actually liked about this movie.
All right. So I can start us off with saying, visually, this is a masterpiece.
Dude, it was a
there are
fucking
so many shots in
masterpiece,
this movie that could be hung up as a painting. Like even Godzilla versus King Ghidorah, when they were running at each other in the city the first time, it was breathtakingly beautiful.
Dude, it was breathtaking, man.
Yes.
It came a little bit early in the movie. The first time when he went down, it looked like beautiful.
Yes.
That was Jinx.
Yeah, Jinx, man. Hey, you owe me a soda.
I actually did from HEB. Oh man, okay. So
Shout out to HEB.
Shout out to HEB.
Sponsor us,
Those of you who
please.
Don't know, please. I mean, I used to work for y'all. I mean, still do, sort of, kind of, in that sort of sense. Anyway, yeah, you're right, man. That was a beautiful scene. Like, all the monsters were beautifully made, and that's one thing. Is when did you start getting into Godzilla? Like,
I mean, I started watching Godzilla since I was like a little kid. Like watching the original, like 1959, whatever it is, movies. The Toho movies are all probably some of my favorite movies out there.
Yeah.
Like, they are very cheesy and campy movies, very outdated.
yeah,
but
you're
like
not
the
wrong.
fact of seeing giant monsters fight each other. Like, we all grew up with Power Rangers, seeing the Zords fight each other. Godzilla growing up fighting that. Like, just seeing giant things fight each other always brings joy to our hearts.
Right. And man, that's the thing. When we were growing up, that was a big stigma that was in the television movie world. Like, you see that in like Power Rangers, you see that in fucking Transformers, anything that any kind of big franchise that was up when we were little.
Yep.
This was one of them, actually. And it just happened to be the up and coming of anime that was actually taking over, in my opinion. And so Godzilla was kind of eschewed or kind of moved to the side when it come to the live action.
Yeah.
And that makes a lot of sense there. What'd you think of King Ghidorah and how he looked? Like that was...
I think he was near perfect. Like, he looks exactly like how he should have been, of just being the giant godly beast that he is, the outer worldly monster of the 3-headed King Ghidorah.
Yeah.
He absolutely killed it. Like, the fact that he has the lightning shooting out instead of just the giant beam, like just still capturing that essence of King Ghidorah. That's amazing.
Now, and that's the thing too. When I saw him and I was like, man, this is his big baddie, like the big rivalry. Do you think like it was actually too soon to have him here, or do you think that there's something bigger planned? Because that's the thing. We're gonna foreshadow here in a little bit, ladies and gentlemen. But those of y'all who don't know, the big baddie, the big rivalry has always been King Ghidorah and Godzilla. I mean, there's with Mecha Godzilla and all this other spin-offs, but that was his big rivalry throughout history.
So I feel like he is the ultimate big baddie, and even though this is a second movie, same thing with Dark Knight trilogy. It came in with the Joker.
Yeah.
Joker is Batman's villain.
That's true.
With this, King Ghidorah is Godzilla's big baddie, and after this, they do have Kong versus Godzilla coming up, which is what everyone is really hoping for, because they just want to see a giant ape kick the crap out of a dinosaur.
And we'll talk about that with our initial thoughts here at the very end. I loved the aspect of Godzilla and Kong going up against each other. And when I saw the first movie, it hit a starstruck, like all of these possibilities of getting all of these monsters interconnected with each other, and which was actually really, really smart, if you ask me, especially from an entertainment standpoint.
Yeah, like the whole MonsterVerse thing going on. Like, obviously, the MCU has captured everything, and everyone's trying to recreate that.
Repeat
like,
that formula, man.
Universal's Dark Universe, and now they're trying to do this MonsterVerse, which they easily can do. They're already 3 movies in now, gonna make a 4th.
Yeah,
it's
breathtaking for one, because that sparks competition, which is a great thing when it comes to competing franchises like this with a big juggernaut like Marvel and Disney, and good
old Disney. We love them.
Disney, I know. And I mean, hopefully they look at this and see, like, this is gonna be a continuation. We still got 2-3 more movies in this universe, so I loved it. I love the aspect of Godzilla looking much slimmer in this one. Now, whenever I saw him and I saw the difference between the 2014 and this 2019 one, he looked sleeker. Like, if you look, it just looks bulky. The lighting wasn't as well as this one was. You actually saw the whole glimpse of Godzilla and how he looked and how he was presented in this one. And that's one thing that really sparked my interest. Now that we're gonna, some of the things I liked and I'm gonna talk about, and hopefully you can chime in, was the monsters. All of the monsters that were in there. What'd you think about them?
I absolutely loved it. Like, as much as I love Fluffy Mothra and how adorable she is, this Mothra is just breathtakingly beautiful. Like, she is our true queen, like 100%. And then we have Rodan. I already talked about King Ghidorah. Rodan I feel like he got the backseat of the 3 of them. Like, he was definitely not featured as much, and just
maybe kind of even out the odds with like Mothra.
Just to have one flying, another flying
one to kind of have one big baddie against another big flying baddie, and it was a really cool scene. That one scene with Rodan,
where he just pops out of the volcano.
Yes, and in Mexico too. That's just it adds to a lot of the conspiracies over there, which is fucking awesome. I'm like, what the fuck?
That's your territory, man.
Dude,
I
know. It's just fucking the Chupacabra this, the fucking La Llorona that, and all this other shit. It's all cool to me. But Rodan was a really good addition to this whole franchise. And we did get glimpses of these new Titans, these new people that are these new giants that are actually going to be a part of the bigger universe.
Yes, because they are all set free in the world. At the end of the movie, they're all 17 of them, whatever there is.
Do you remember the number? That's what I was trying to think. I was
pretty sure it is. Pretty sure it's 17.
It was somewhere. I could have sworn I heard 35. In my head, I was like, what the fuck? That's going to be a shit ton of people.
Let's see.
People. Titans. That's what I meant.
Let's see. Can I find it? I'm pretty sure it's 17. Let's just go with 17.
Yeah, and I'm just drinking coffee. That coffee is very delicious right now, man. But that's the one thing that sparked me was the interest of actually putting up I see like a rivalry group. Like we only saw a glimpse of 8. I believe, or 7.
Yeah,
with
something like
including
that.
Kong, but that's he's in a different like
He's on
part of the
Skull
world,
Island.
yeah.
He's chilling.
He's in this like very individual island
Yeah.
that like he's away from the whole world.
Mm-hmm.
So and that's the thing that kind of makes me think. I'm like, okay, there's 8 here. There's gonna be another posse, maybe kind of having like this whole clash of dominance.
Clash of the Titans.
Yes.
Yes.
That's
Ha,
what-
ha, ha. Other movies. Yeah, we like that. Ha,
Oh
ha.
God, those were some horrible movies, I think,
Hey,
in my opinion.
they
dude.
were, but you
Yeah,
know, hey,
dude.
hey, look, they did their best.
They did their fucking best, and that's the thing that I'm just trying to, give
They
them
tried.
some. But there, when you get Greek mythology and that shit, it's just hard to make a fucking movie out of it, dude.
They
And
tried.
next thing you know, they get Wrath of the Titans, and it's just fucking gods
Yeah,
teaming
it's just-
up and like, bro, you got this with me? Let's do
Like,
it.
no.
I don't know, man. It's fucking weird. Anyways, yeah, I loved Mothra. I loved, the whole idea of Mothra where she can't die, where
Yeah.
she always comes
She can
back.
just be resurrected at any point.
Yes,
It's-
and it's like the cycle of life. Like it's just the continuation of, there's always going to be a continuation of life living on here,
Yeah.
whether it's us or not, and that's what's cool. Now, having that perspective and putting that with Godzilla and having this state of balance that he's trying to allude to, the philosophy in this was another one I really loved. I loved a lot of this clash of dominance that they're trying to allude to, and it's like, okay, yeah, that's us being some creatures like, so there's an alpha, there's beta, all this other shit that kind of like makes them want to team up, or kind of like, okay, yeah, you are our ruler. There's a sense of gathering that tends to kind of keep us aligned. What'd you think about that?
I mean, in that sense, like, the whole movie, it was basically just King Ghidorah shitting on everyone. It's like, yo,
Yeah.
I'm the alpha. Like, all y'all can fuck off. Come to me. I'm going to go chill on top of my mountain, have my little storm over here. And then there's the whole sense of Godzilla trying to come at Rodan, just getting essentially roided up towards the end of the movie with a nuke. And
That's so fucking
like, it's
cool for me.
Godzilla just took a nuke
fucking
to the
nuke
face.
to the
and,
face, and he's like, I'm
like, now
I'm
he's
back,
ready.
bitches.
He's ready
Like,
to party.
It's so funny for me. When I saw that, and a lot of the story with the humans, it's just to kind of continue on the further plot of the whole movie and what they're trying to do, and it was a wonderful send off. I don't remember the character's name, but it's that's the thing. That's like, I didn't come for you, man. I came to see fucking Godzilla, go at it.
Yeah, the only human thing that I actually liked was just the fact that they sort of hinted at the Shobijin for Mothra.
Yes.
That's really it,
Yes, that
with
was
the
it.
2 twins. That's it. That's the only human part I liked.
Yeah.
We'll get to that a little later,
We'll get
guys.
to that a little bit later.
But, yeah, that's really it.
Yeah, dude, and like that's another thing. I was like, oh, we'll allude to this little nice picture right here later. But what was the things that you didn't like? What was some aspects of this movie that where you were like, man, this is fucking horrible.
Just the human aspect of it. It's everything that the humans did was just absolutely awful. Like, everything, like, not to discredit any of the actors, but like, they all did great in their roles. This is a shitty script for them. Like,
What's that girl's name from Stranger Things?
Millie Bobby Brown. How did you forget her name? Gosh.
Millie Bobby Brown, dude. And so that's the thing. Whenever I found out about her actually being in this role, I'm like,
Honestly, the fact that I did not see Millie Bobby Brown riding on the back of Mothra, that is the one thing I wanted out of this movie. I wanted Eleven to ride on top of Mothra.
fucking
I didn't get
11's
that out
okay,
of this
yeah.
movie, but it's fine.
It's
Like,
fun. I mean, we're not gonna complain.
And then, like, Kyle Chandler's character, the main person, Mark Russell, like,
yeah.
it seemed like he knew everything on the planet. Like, no matter what it was, he had a background in it. It was a very convenient plot device for them, and it was not good at all. Like, every human aspect, even Dr. Emma Russell's wife, Vera Farmiga, I totally fucked that up. It's fine. Like, she just wanted to do that same plot line of, to save the Earth, we have to kill all the humans.
Right.
And it's pretty stupid how she would just go about that. It's like, hey, I have a device that can talk to all these things. Yeah, we're going to kill everyone.
And as the thing, I heard that whole speech of like humans being the the fucking worst part about this planet and in other movies, and it's just like, oh my god, they're gonna use the same shit again. They're kind of like
the same cliche of it.
Same cliche of it, and it's a fucking cliche movie in my opinion. But it's I guess that right there, when I heard it, it tends to be very repetitive, and it tends to kind of put a same spin on something we've already heard, but just add big ass monsters to kind of wipe us fucking out.
I did like the fact that like they showed glimpses of San Francisco from the 2014 movie. I liked that they showed that of like they didn't recover from it. They just let San Francisco die, and then plant life grew over it. So that somewhat gave it a different perspective on it, because normally it's just, oh, humans are bad. If we take them out, they'll be good. That somewhat gave reasoning for it.
Now, and see that state of balance there, where it always talks about like, it would either be the good or the bad. The good being, well, we can live upon with these monsters, but we won't be the dominant species of this world anymore. That's pretty cool for me. That's just like kind of feeds a lot of other conspiracies. That's also really fun to kind of, but you get inside that hole, man. You'll just keep fucking going inside that rabbit hole forever. And that's really cool for me, how they try to add that perspective on things. A lot of the characters I hated. Hello.
Okay.
What's the one thing? It's connected to Bluetooth. Just turn it off. Okay.
Hey. Hey, I don't know that song. Hey.
Such a great song, though. But
I'm sorry, I don't.
I can't put that on. That's what. After 25 minutes, just hit the stop record button, and we'll go back to 5 minutes and then hit there. Right. So, from there, I actually started realizing that okay, this spin-on movie, like the whole hollow earth theory that they had going on there, and that shit was fucking, I was like, okay, it took me out of the movie immediately. And I was like god damn it, this is the stupidest thing that they could fucking come up with. Like, they fucking bring a fucking dragon, three-headed dragon from
space.
Fucking space.
No, from space. No.
But hey, hold on, guys. This fucking Earth that we live in is fucking hollow, and
and Godzilla can just swim through the Earth to get to
fucking Earth. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I that's the thing. I was always fascinated by Godzilla. I was always fascinated by this type of movie, this whole radiation shit. And the thing was, man, you can't make a comic book movie that cheesy and get away with it. That's the thing about that.
See, I think with that, if they accepted the fact that it was that cheesy, it would have been great.
It would have been great.
If they went full stupid, accepted the fact that this is a cheesy ass movie about giant lizards fighting each other and a big ass bug, then it would have been fine. But they took this movie way too seriously. So then, to the points of where, like, the comedic relief characters like Thomas Middleditch and Bradley Whitford, it just seems so out of place. Like, they would make all these jokes. Like, the one joke that stood out in my mind was when one of the characters, forget who it was, he was like, "Oh my god," and then what's his name, Bradley Whitford, said Zilla right after it. It's like, "Oh my god, Zilla." I was like, what the fuck was that? That was stupid as hell.
Stupid as hell. And dude, I always forget that fucking Ice Cube's son was in this.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was a great soldier. He did fine, he just didn't have anything to do with the script.
Like, in my opinion, whenever I saw him, I was like, man, they had Eazy-E, like his character, fucking Kong, and you got hit.
And then you got O'Shea Jackson. So little did you know, this is actually tied into the NWA. Godzilla versus NWA. That's the next movie. Calling it
sequel of this whole franchise right here, and it's actually coming up. Hopefully they make this movie. That's a good scene right there. Whenever the Adam breath that he has, and I love that last scene, and I'll keep alluding to that. But the only flaw that I really hated when it came down to when Mothra died and all this other shit, like the ending of this, and especially King Ghidorah, there's a lot of rich. This is why I'm saying that they probably used them too soon, and maybe they can use him as a really weak point in the franchise. But if we and we're spoiler because this is a fucking spoiler if you didn't know this, but at the end of the movie there is a end credit scene where they get the
one of his
heads back, and that part right there I was like, okay, that makes sense. I could have been like, if it was Rodan that was the main baddie in this, I think it would have done swell. Like, I don't think you needed to put King Ghidorah in this in too early, too soon, sort of. In my opinion, I'm not dissing on him being portrayed as a weaker character, but this is his big rivalry, and the fact that it keeps going on for millennia, I think that's why I think they wanted to use him here right now, and that was my only big concern because. I mean, that's the only biggest flaw I had.
I mean, now that he has his head, like, Ghidorah can regenerate. So,
yeah.
like, they can bring him back. Rodan's not dead. Mothra's in another cocoon.
Exactly.
So, like, really nothing happened in this movie. Like, at the
nothing.
all in all, nothing happened.
Nothing.
But
that's why I think having Rodan as the big baddie there would have been flawless. Like, it would have been like, okay, like another big baddie. And there.
See, that's why I was concerned once I saw Rodan come back alive, because I thought Mothra just flat out murked him. Like, I thought he was dead when he fell off the building. I was like, okay, one of them actually died, and then he came out and he bowed to Godzilla. I was like, okay, I thought you were dead, but all right.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Whenever I saw that, I was like, okay, oh man, this better not be another one like. Because I guess Marvel is very bad at doing this, is actually killing off characters, and that's the thing. Like, we don't have emotional attachment to a lot of these characters. Really, the only one we do have is Godzilla. That's the only one we do have, and that's the only kind of depiction I can think of when it comes to that. The only reason I bring that up is because when I bring this up and I bring it up in the sense of this whole universe. And we're not really talking about the things that we didn't like anymore, but some of the things that we didn't like was some of those aspects right there. But the reason I bring that up is because all throughout the history of King Kong, the idea of King Kong is that he's emotionally attached with humans.
Yes.
And it makes a lot of sense to bring him on and have this sort of big rivalry when it comes to having a idea of humans versus big monsters, and having a big monster be on the side of the humans when Godzilla is like, and they alluded to that a little bit in this movie when they were like, we'll be his pets, and it's like he's on our. I was like, so glad he's on our. I forgot who said it, but he's like, I'm so glad he's on our side. He's like, for now. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
See, that's also like Monarch's whole thing. The company that was trying to keep him alive, like they're trying to maintain a balance with these titans. I don't get why they call them titans in this movie.
Right, and
let's call them kaiju.
Fucking call them kaiju, like allude to that, and then add the fucking Pacific Rim, like. Crossover story, and you have fucking big ass monsters going up against big ass robots.
Kaiju. It's not hard. Like white people can say it. It's fine. Kaiju. But what was I trying to say with that? Like Monarch was just trying to protect them and everything like that. But it's just, I feel nothing. Like, if Godzilla were to die in this movie, I would feel nothing for it.
See, and that's the thing. Like, that's the only bad thing, and that's why they're adding humans in this storyline right now. I don't know how much of a big role they're going to play in the Kong versus Godzilla one. You add Kong into it. And
but even with Kong, though, the movie was in the Vietnam War. So, like, the characters that you do care about, like Brie Larson and Tom Hiddleston, they're all old as fuck at this point. Because this is going to be in 2020 when that comes out? 2021, something like that?
Something like that.
So, like, by that time, they're going to be old as shit. You're not going to care about the human characters in that movie. Unless if there's some weird thing where we see Godzilla actually kick King Kong's ass 30 years ago.
Right. But he's a baby. Like, that's the thing. He's a baby. He's gonna be a little bit more.
Yeah, because Kong is supposed to grow to be able to catch up to Godzilla's size.
So, and that's the thing. Like, we can foreshadow the fight. Like, there's gonna be, I think, another sequel to that. King Kong versus Godzilla movie, and right there, it's just gonna be a different perspective on things like that. Yeah. When I see this and I see the gold mine that Godzilla could bring and Kong can bring, I'm like, you can't mess this up. You can't mess up. So you can mess up here, and I mean, you could have used King Ghidorah to be the one that can be the big baddie that y'all team up, like they team up. I would
Yeah.
assume so. I see them teaming up. I see them actually kind of like not fighting for dominance, because I don't think Kong in his initial emotional world cares about dominance.
No, Kong is just trying to live on its own island.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't give a shit.
Doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Doesn't give a shit about anything like that. And I don't know the motives of like Godzilla actually tending to have a alpha role, but I think at the end of the movie we get that. We get that he's gonna be the alpha, and he's like, when I need you, I'm gonna need the pack to be there with me.
Yeah.
So, and that goes to Kong and the pack that I feel like is going to be like this big clash of fucking monsters going at it. I don't know if it's going to be against
So
that.
you're talking like civil war
of
monsters.
big fast monsters. And I mean, I'm just saying, like, it's like fucking 17 monsters. What are you going to do with them? They're not going to wait and on the sidelines. They're gonna want dominance.
Some of them might be, because like
Really? Okay. So they wait for like the alpha just to see if they win.
Yeah, like I feel like that giant mammoth, like he's not gonna give a shit. The big ass turtle that walked through, he's not gonna care. The spider, no. Like
That's the thing. Like right there, I see that, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe it's just in the reality of the survival tactics that they're trying to put, and that's cool and all. That's and that makes a lot of sense. So if the alpha falls,
someone has to take charge.
Someone takes charge. And I feel like in the other 17 or the other 8 that we didn't see, I'm like, okay, there's gonna be a fight, whether it's Rodan or thinking like there's gonna be a fight, whether it be like King Kong and the other group, or with Godzilla just having a falling out. But two big baddies like that, I think could work perfectly well.
Yeah. See, I think the route that they're gonna go with for Kong versus Godzilla is just that they're gonna start off the fight, and then King Ghidorah's gonna come back, and then they team up. They're gonna go Batman versus Superman on this. Like, oh, Doomsday showed up. All right, we're friends now.
Yeah.
I think that's the way that they should go, or not should go about it, but they're probably going to, just to make movie sense, instead of just, hey, you rolled up on my island, fuck off.
You rode up on my island, fuck off, and just like or fucking go through the fucking holes of the hollow earth and just you pop out and we're ready to fight. I don't know, but that's the thing. I think the human aspect now, I think, is going to play a little bit of a big role now. Like he's there. I don't know if it's a loved one or what the hell. He's gonna find another lady he falls in love with and then say, "Oh, I'm gonna go save her." And I don't know, but it's all of that right there where I like doing stuff like this. We just talk about our initial thoughts of what we hated about this movie, what we liked, and then we kind of glimpse over a lot of the facts of the things that could happen. Now, how much do you think it earned? I guess the thing, box office wise.
Box office wise, I mean, I can pull up the number right now.
So we have like what box office mojo.
Domestic total as of right now in just the U.S. is only 78 million.
Yeah.
It opened to what, like 40 something million. But in China, at right now, it's at nearly 70 million.
Right.
So Japan is at almost 8.5 million now.
Fuck.
So this movie isn't really for us.
No,
there's not a large American audience for Godzilla and King Kong, shit like that.
Yeah.
But like for an Asian culture, because the studios are much smaller, like Toho Studios has barely any money. They have Godzilla and that's about it.
Right.
So like the studios in that sense, they're seeing this giant HD version of Godzilla. So China is going to be the big pull. Japan's going to be the big pull. Basically throughout foreign total is at 216 million right now. So
see, our little measly 47 million opening week just goes to show that, because even though like our franchise isn't, and you could say the same thing about like our franchises going over there overseas and trying to really push for that, being Marvel or Disney or anything like that.
Or even Star Wars.
Star Wars is a big one. That one,
like China fucking loves Star Wars, man.
Now they do.
Yeah,
now
China
they
fucking loves Star Wars.
But that's the thing. Like I see that and I'm like, Godzilla, man, it's gonna get green lit no matter what.
Yeah, because they know that they will make money overseas.
Yeah, and like Transformers, fucking horrible story, horrible everything.
And there's 8 of them.
8 of them because of overseas. Like that's the thing that we have to understand, is that when it comes to big franchises like that, overseas is gonna eat it up big time. Like they're not gonna shy away from oh man, critics and shit like that. Like because critically, the first Godzilla did really well.
Yeah.
This one did shit.
Yeah.
But
this one's making a fuck ton of money overseas.
Fuck ton of money. Now, that's not going to say whether or not a movie is going to be good or not,
Mm-hmm.
but it does say that there is an audience. It does
Mhm.
say that, that audience is big and it's thriving, and why not? Why not
Yeah.
make a second one? Why not make a third one?
Yeah.
And it's that shit right there where it gets me to understand that, you can make a movie. You can make a movie
Mhm.
in any aspect of where the hell it's going to be, and you're
Mhm.
going to find an audience for it.
Yeah.
Like people that see all these indie movies, there's an audience for that. There's
Mhm.
an audience for all of these little ones, and
Mhm.
Godzilla is a big one, just
Mhm.
not here.
Yeah.
Pacific Rim was another one, and I think that would be a perfect crossover
Mhm.
there. That's the thing that kind of has.
Stop recording on that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Just the heads up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine. And we're gonna end it there. We're just gonna end it on why all of this stuff actually did pretty well. I'm not gonna really go into far detail because it was a movie that actually made perfectly good sense on its own, just
Mhm.
what it was, but there's not a lot of storytelling to kind of go and allude to like
Yeah.
other movies like Avengers and all this
Mhm.
other ones that are gonna end it there. But that goes to show that a big movie like this can be talked about, can be portrayed as actually being a good way to get audiences in and get fill up movies, because it's a summer blockbuster.
Yeah, like you go into this movie, you don't go into a Godzilla movie hoping for a good human
Fuck no,
storyline.
dude.
You go into a Godzilla movie to see a big ass monster kick the ass of a big ass monster. That's it.
Yeah, that I was okay with it. Now,
Mhm.
if we wanted to rate it, I have 1 through 10. I've been doing this with all these other movies lately.
I mean,
What's Duke's?
I would give it
perspective on
6.5 Mothras out of 10.
6.5 Mothras out of 10.
6.5 Mothras out of 10.
I give it maybe 6 nuclear bombs.
6
out of
nuclear
10.
bombs. All right. Yeah, like the only reason I give it that low because the human aspect did drag it all the way down.
Fuck.
Like in the first Godzilla, the 2014 Godzilla movie, there was 8 minutes of Godzilla in total of him being on screen.
Yeah. Bryan
And
Cranston.
Bryan
Flawless.
Cranston did amazing,
Yeah.
but like in this one, it was a Godzilla movie.
Yep.
It was him and fighting all these other kaiju or
Yeah.
titans, whatever you want to fucking call them.
Yeah.
But the human aspect was just so bad. Like they did not give any shits in the human form of it. So
Yeah.
everything about it just took me out of the movie if Godzilla was not on the screen.
Yep. And there's Mothra right
Ah,
there.
Fluffy
Oh,
Mothra,
we
we
got a
love
little
her.
Fluffy Mothra
We
right
fucking
there.
love Fluffy Mothra.
Yeah. And you're not wrong, man.
That's-
That's where we kind of have a good understanding of what this movie was. That's what
Yeah.
wanted you on here.
Yeah.
Just to kind of like, we think alike. And that's the
Mhm.
thing. Even though there's a lot of things that you bring in the table that I'm like, wow, I can get a
Mhm.
second look on. And you gave it a 7. Is that what you said? A 6?
6.5.
6.5?
Yeah.
And I gave it a 6.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. You're right. A lot of the human aspect, I just think it was
They just dragged it too far
drag.
out.
And maybe, I don't know if it's just a stardom or they just know now that
Mhm.
it's just going to be monsters going to.
Yeah, because they did take this movie a little too seriously.
Fuck,
like
yeah.
that's why I like Kong Skull Island so much. Kong Skull Island, they went full stupid, like Vietnam War area. They were just
Yeah.
like, fuck it, we're gonna throw all these random ass monsters at you. Have
Yeah.
a great time with it.
Yeah.
Then this one, they were just like, no, we're gonna try to have a human element and not be good.
Yeah. No, dude, I totally understand that
Yeah.
one. And, well, I mean, we're going to end it right here, ladies and gentlemen. This was actually Duke. Duke is going to be on the show on a daily now because I
On a
love
daily.
his perspective.
Wow.
On a daily. I mean, on a podcastly. I don't know this.
On a
regular
regular basis. How about I go with that?
Yeah, I wanted to bring him on for this one. It was going to be a little bit of a shorter end of the stick, especially just because this one came out 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
and
Not much to talk
not
about
much
there.
to talk about there. But I wanted to just reach out because he has a lot of stuff going out. Go follow him. He's got a good credentials there when it comes to dancing and actually knowing his stuff when it comes to entertainment.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on, dude.
All right,
I
thank
really
you, Johnny.
appreciate you.
Thank you for having me here, buddy.
Dude, thanks, man. We're gonna have you on for another segment, and I know there's gonna be a lot more to kind of talk about, and it's gonna
Mhm.
be Disney,
Yeah.
alluding to a lot of stuff when it comes to that time.
Mhm.
But guys, thank you for tuning in with us. Thank you for actually being with us today. Hit that like button, subscribe, do whatever you got to do. Just follow me, support this channel because, Duke, You want
Hey.
to say any last words right here?
Follow me on Instagram at Nainoagima, Nainoagima. You can catch me on JoJo's vlogs. I don't vlog myself, but you know, JoJo's World on YouTube. I'm on there quite a bit with all his dancing videos. Really, that's it.
All
Yeah.
right, man.
That's my
Thank
plug.
you guys. He already hit his plug. See you later.